y'all, welcome back. We are Majestic RV Explorers. If you are new to our channel, please like and subscribe down below. I am Diane.
I'm Lance, and today I'm going to be replacing our kitchen faucet and putting in a water filter for the cold water for drinking water. First thing I'm doing this morning is draining the water lines to the kitchen sink so that I don't get a lot of extra water coming out from taking the fittings off. So all of the water has stopped flowing out of the sink, and so I'm good with there. And then I've got a couple of microfiber towels that I'm going to use to surround the fitting that I'm undoing in the cabinet here, and so that I don't get a lot of water all over stuff in the cabinet. This is a 2014 Outdoors RV Timber Ridge, and for the sink they've used form-fitted fittings, so everything's like a custom bend, while the rest of the RV is made out of PEX lines. The supply lines going to the hot and cold water at the sink are a preformed line, so I'm going to have to replace those preformed lines because they don't connect in with the new sink faucet and the new sink filter. So the first thing I'm going to do in this cabinet, I can reach the two water lines, so I'm going to, that black fitting right there, there's one for the hot and one for the cold, so I'm just going to undo that, and then I'll move to the other end on the kitchen faucet and undo the line as well. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this fitting to make a supply line for the hot water line first, and this I'm going to crimp on a PEX line too. I just tested it, and this fits on and seals onto the PEX line that's part of the camper, and so I'm going to, now that I know that this works, I'm going to create a new supply line. Alright, this is some PEX line I bought several years ago, and I don't know much about plumbing, but I do know a couple of things. And right here, this edge is not consistent the whole way around. It's not the same, and so I'm going to cut off a little bit of that PEX line so that I have a nice clean edge, because I won't be able to get it hooked up correctly if I don't. That's all. Alright, so what I just did is I crimped on the band here to keep the PEX line secured onto this fitting, and a really good investment is to get one of these crimp tools for doing your PEX lines. My opinion is that precision is the best thing when working with something like water, where if you get a leak, it can be quite damaging, and so I make sure that I have really good tools and the correct tools for doing a job so that I can get it done right the first time.
Yep.
Alright, here's the old faucet that I just removed. And it's the original one, I think, from the camper when it was built. However, I mean, not a big issue, but the hot water connection always squeaked when you turn the hot water on and off. So I'm not going to miss the squeaking hot water knob at all. And so I'm looking forward to this new faucet. Alright, here's our new faucet. And you might notice that we had two handles on the old one, which means that there are 3 holes drilled in the sink for that old style faucet. For this new one, you just need the center hole, and this plate covers up the other two remaining holes. And so I'm going to install this plate just by threading the faucet through, and then I'm going to attach this new faucet. Alright, so this is why I'm having to run the new water lines. These are the old formed lines from the camper, but as you can see, there's no way to put a fitting onto this one to use this line. So rather than remove those form lines, I'm going to keep them there in case at any point we want to install that old faucet. But the next problem that I had to kind of tackle is that I've got this new water line coming, but you know, I don't have a way to hook it to there. And so this fitting will allow me to do that. Those two are going to connect. And the really nice thing about this is that it's got an on-off valve. And so if I ever needed to turn off the water to the sink, I could do that. So I'm going to install this next. Alright, so this is my handy-dandy assortment of parts that I use for when we're on the road. So I learned from a friend of mine, Glenn, thank you Glenn, when I was rebuilding a 51 Willys Jeep, that you should always keep some spare fasteners around. So I've collected stuff over the years, and this is one of the two bins that I have where I know I can go and get certain parts. So to mount the cabinet water filter, I needed a couple of screws, so I came to this bin, and I've also got a little clamp that I can use to hold that water line that I just made for the hot water to the under cabinet of the sink. And so I'm going to make sure that I get the screws in the right place using this little template that I made, and that's my next step in this. Alright, here's our new water filter. This particular filter system we've used for the past couple of years. I've mounted some at our apartments where we've lived, and I'm really happy with the filtration of this simple system of just one cartridge to filter out lots of different chemicals and sediments and chlorine. Alright, so I'm going to mount this filter about right here, and I've double checked to make sure that if I screw something into the inside of this cabinet that it won't go through to the outside. So I'm using just a short screw, and then you might be asking yourself, well, how are you going to get those screws lined up? Well, I'll show you. Punch the holes in the paper, and then I'm just going to hold this piece of paper up here, and I'm going to put a hole or a screw in there and a screw in that hole, and then I can just rip the paper off and the screws will stay there, and I will have my mount. Alright, so I just wanted to point out some of the things that I used to do today's project. I always carry around some 1/2-inch PEX line, so I used my PEX line for the first time, and then I used a 1/2-inch by 1/2-inch FNPT female adapter. I used two of those, one for the cold water, one for the hot water. And then I used a 1/2-inch by 3/8 inch shark bite to connect the PEX line to the water line coming off of the sink. I have a couple of these 1/2-inch bands that I crimped onto the PEX line. This is my PEX tool that I really am glad that I have to get a nice, good, solid crimp on there. And then just a couple of adjustable wrenches, my tool to get a nice flat cut on the PEX, and let's see, the Teflon tape to go over the threads, and then this shop light that I used in the cabinet to light everything up, so I had my hands free. Okay, this is our old faucet. One of the things that we didn't like is that the old faucet didn't have a sprayer, and so this new faucet either has stream or spray, and so we're excited about that. And it also looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more up to date, makes the camper look a little bit newer than 2014. And then the final thing I did before I closed everything up was that I made sure that none of the water lines were leaking, and so I've tested all the water lines and connections that I did for leaks, and nothing's leaking, so I'm good to go.
Thanks for watching today, you guys. Look forward to our next video. What we are going to show you is the top 10 must-have items for comfortable RV living. So look forward to seeing that. And remember, be a nomad. Forget the rest. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a really great day.
Bye.
Bye.